all of these women putting the makeup and the dresses, and you think you're going to get a husband. You're fooling yourself. That's why so many, they get married and then the guy, he is always looking at other girls. And then you're surprised. Why is that the case? You have to understand, if you're trying to get your husband through lust, it's one of the stupidest things you can possibly do. Because lust cannot be satiated. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. If he follows his sexual desires, you can never be enough for him. If you give me, for example, or any other man, you say you can pick 30 women. I go on Instagram and I pick all the top models, one from Japan, one from Nigeria, one from Indonesia, one from France, from Denmark. I pick all of them, from Brazil, the whole world. And I pick the 30 women who, in my opinion, are the most beautiful. That's who I choose, who I want. And you tell me you can be intimate with them as much as you want, whenever you want, the whole day if you want. So day one is going to be interesting, that's true. Day two is going to be something which I've already experienced. Day three is going to be normal. And by the time week 3 comes around, I'm going to be looking for number 31. I'm going to be interested in something else, something new, something which I haven't experienced before. It's very important to understand this is how the desire works. So if you're with a guy who is choosing based on this desire, you will never satisfy him. You can only interest him temporarily. So now think about, what guy do you actually want? And if you realize it's somebody who's not in a state of lust, then you have to think about, how am I presenting myself in order to attract that specific man? If you're beautiful, it doesn't mean that you're not going to attract this man. But if you are, you're going to be so distracted and you won't have even time or energy with all of these guys giving you attention and interest who have different interests. And they're going to do everything to make you think that they're not that way. And it's the case that women are, very often tricked by this. And they think the guy has different interests, but in reality, he has his own lust. And this happens all the time. To be honest, it's not that difficult for a man to pretend. But the women, they can't see it, and then they get tricked, sometimes with very, very bad consequences. And then they get surprised and they think, oh, why is he looking at other women? Well, because initially what he was looking at you with was the same gaze that he's looking at these other women with. That's where his mind is, that's where his focus is.